Hello, Zero Books readers. It's me again, Douglas Lain. And in this video, I'll be talking about the new Joker movie. Not in order to take a side in the culture war. I don't know if the movie is terribly reactionary and supportive of incels, or whether it strikes a blow for freedom of expression against oppression, or exposes all the ills of society. But I'll be talking about it because it seems to me that talking about movies has taken the place of politics today. Now, as a publisher of critical theory, I should be the last person to suggest that movies are politically neutral. And in fact, I would never say that. Critiquing popular culture is a big part of what we do. For example, in our upcoming title, Ideology in the Virtual City, author John Bales makes a concerted effort to discover the political significance of a variety of video games. And he justifies his search by asserting that, quote, we can gain valuable insights into the social psychology of the historical moment by examining pop culture, end quote. The central claim of his book is that by studying video games, we can find out about ideologies in society that attach people to the status quo. I tend to agree. However, many people seem to treat this effort to gain insights into our social psychology as if it is the beginning and the end of political struggle. People think that coming to the right conclusion about this superhero movie is a moral imperative. The arguments around Joker range from concerns that this violent movie will encourage mass shootings, specifically mass shootings perpetrated by disaffected white fuckboys, to proclamations that the movie is socially progressive because it holds a mirror up to society and removes the romantic aura that many films create around violence.
Oh, Douglas, I guess the term fuckboys, is that a technical term you Marxists use? It's funny too. These same guys are the men you'd call incels. So these guys who are involuntary celibate, they have sex with women on the regular, and it's inconsequential, which you find a problem. That's what fuckboys is, right? They bang girls and then they go about their business, and that's bad. So this just shows the contradictory logic I see in men in general. And you guys on the left definitely have it. Now this culture war, you want to believe you're above it all. But the culture war is a war on men. It's a mirror to how people feel. Just like the original Godzilla film mirrored the fear of nuclear devastation. And the Joker film mirrors just how abused the average guy who hasn't built up any status gets, and he might suffer some mental breakdown. And of course, this is absolutely important because that's 50% of the population that has to deal with this. And socialism isn't going to stop that. It's not going to save us. Because Douglas, you are one of them. Mr. Lain, you are the average guy in the street that, unless you build up status, most women won't even look at you. And socialism doesn't stop men like you, for example, who have this hostile, antagonistic, attitude towards the next guy, to the guy sitting next to you on the bus. And he feels the same way about you. You'll get labeled incel and fuckboy because you're just an ordinary guy like the rest of us. And so socialism can't save men. You can't even come up with ideas on your own. You keep mentioning your philosophy, whoever you follow, DiGiorno or Hegel and all these guys. You don't even have an original thought in your head on the process. And these guys can't even say anything because most of them are dead. Or they wrote their books, before, 2010. They have nothing to say. It's like a Bible to you guys. It's like when I come up to those religious nutters and I have a problem and they say, oh, well, let's check Corinthians 5, verse 8. How is socialism going to help men when guys like you want to pander to the women at men's expense? It's change. The system isn't what's broken. It is the attitudes, it's the psychology of people that have to be addressed first. The psychology of men is broken. There are job quotas for women over men. Is socialism going to change that? If you bring in a socialist system, well, what if UBI shows up and they say, sorry, women get first dibs? Or only women get it at all? How does that change men, their situation at all? It doesn't. Now, look at this clip here you've got. This Victoria Brooks woman.
Victoria Brooks attempts to fuck the law, and it's an attempt at liberation. But it's also a complicated one that is set at odds with itself.
Her sexual ethics. A number of years ago, she found herself at a public sex beach in southern France for research purposes. Unsurprisingly, she experienced some ethical dilemmas. Because she was researching the ethics of sexuality, her research involved potentially having sex with men and women at the beach. The question of whether she should or could do so was complicated by a number of factors. She was a woman. She was queer. She was an academic. At the time, she was also in an increasingly difficult relationship with a man who was a philosopher.
I had a number of complicating factors. So the fact that I'm a woman, I'm an academic, I'm queer. I was also in a relationship at the time with a married man who was also a philosopher. So all of these things came together on a beach where I was perhaps likely to have sex with other men and other women.
She wants to put ethics in this nude beach where there are sexual encounters. You know what ethics means? This is translation. It means rules for the men who are involved at that nude beach. If she has her way, this Victoria Brooks, she will limit the sexual access of men to the opposite sex. That's what it's going to end up being. And by the way, this has nothing to do with socialism, right? You might try and make it so, but it doesn't. You made this video with that thumbnail with a hot girl in a bikini. So this is what we have to look forward to with the average Marxist these days. This woman, Victoria, she has these complicating factors, when dealing with possible sexual encounters at a nude beach. She's a woman. That really complicates things. And an academic. And queer. She's not particularly good looking either. So I suspect that she went to this space and there was probably a number of women she'd like to bang and she couldn't compete with the guys there. And so she, of course, as an academic, probably means feminist. And she hates the guys on top of things. And so she wants to place rules to limit guys so she has better access. That's the translation to this. And you're for it, Doug. I mean, why have a free sexual space, nude beach, for the LGBT when guys might be getting away, straight men, with, easy access to sex occasionally? You're against that, Doug, because in typical male fashion, you hate other guys. You don't want them, to have any kind of freedom. You want them, chained up. So you made this stupid video. You're all for this. Maybe I shouldn't say you made it. You sponsor it. You back it. And guys like you, next thing you know, that you get surprised when you live a shitty life because you're a guy. And so all the chains you put on other men are going to be put on you. You Marxists are pathetic. You socialists are pathetic. Whatever you consider yourself, Mr. Lain, you're pathetic. Now, I could probably make a half-hour video just nitpicking this video mate you've got here, her sexuality again. Sorry, her sexuality against philosophy. But I don't have to. I think I've laid out what's important to people. You Marxists are not going to lead men to a better place. So that's the point of this video. Guys like you need to be called out. Good. Thank you.